Hello, folks. This is Tony and Christine from the Refinement Not Retirement podcast to talk today about one of our favorite life refinements, which we've talked about in a number of previous episodes, and that is our much loved sport of pickleball. Pickleball is a sport.
Pickleball.
Pickleball. Yeah, say hi, Chris. I didn't introduce you.
Hi.
Could have done
Hello.
that. Yep, pickleball is a sport that was invented about 50 years ago, but really has taken off in the last decade across the United States of America, but now taking the UK by storm, especially in the past 12 months. How did we get to hear about it? Chris, why don't you take over there just very quickly, because we've done this before, but just a
Oh,
quick
yes, very
recap.
quickly. Everybody knows we lived part of the year in Naples, Florida, had been playing tennis out there for years during our living years. Left Naples in 2014. And I think you were talking to Jeff, weren't you, on the phone one day, catching up with an old friend. And he said, "Oh, I must go, Tony. I'm off to watch pickleball." And you said, "Pickleball? What's pickleball?" He was a big tennis player too. And he said, "Oh, it's a big tournament here in Naples. And look it up, check it out. But I haven't got time to talk to you now. Go." So you did some research, as you always do, looked it up, and discovered this amazing game. And
Yep.
we've been playing it ever since, right?
Absolutely. So our first club that we joined was Runnymede Royals. I think it's still the biggest one in England, certainly, I think.
And just celebrating 10 years this year.
Are they? And
Yeah.
they have, when we joined, I think they had 80 members, and now they have over 300, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Then we formed with a lovely couple that share our love for pickleball, Andy and Sandy Homewood. We started a club called Wasps in Surrey, and built that with them. And we've also played at other clubs and just met the most fabulous, fantastic people. Our first tournament, I think, was also an international tournament in a small way, but I think it was in Stratford upon Avon. Am I right? In 2015
It,
is
yeah, I think, well, not 17.
either 15 or
Oh, it
17.
might
I'm
be.
not
Yeah,
sure.
well, it's funny. It's funny though, isn't it?
Might
Because
be 17. Yeah, I think you might be
come back
right.
to my hometown, and we were in London then, and yeah,
So why are we talking about this today? The
yeah.
reason that we're talking about it today is because we have just gotten back from the latest iteration of that tournament that we played in Stratford upon Avon, where we incredibly, Christine and I, won a silver medal there. Uh, we've just come back from Telford, the Telford International Centre, uh,
Leisure Centre, I think. Yeah.
um, and we this was, as I say, was the latest iteration of that tournament that we attended way back when in 2016 or 15 or whenever it was, and this was massively bigger, sponsored by the most incredible sponsors. The headline sponsor being Skechers, the shoe people who now make and have been making for some time pickleball shoes. In my opinion, the best pickleball shoes that you can buy. They obviously make all kinds of other shoes, and they're the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn. But there are many other sponsors as well, but organized by Pickleball England, which is our association, the Association of Pickleball Players. Its byline is "powered by the players," and that's an important byline. If I remember, I'm going to come back to that later in this episode. But this absolutely blew our minds. This was the fourth English Open that Pickleball England had done. This one was the biggest tournament ever to be held outside the United States of America. There were close to 2,000 players, about 1,980 players from 42 different countries. It was an age and skill tournament, meaning that you don't have to compete, as I often found I used to have to do with tennis players when I came back from Florida. I don't have to compete with 20-year-olds. I can compete with people in my own skill level. Everybody can do the same, not just me. And it's but my own age level, I should say, and also at my skill level.
I just want
So
to throw in there that
yeah,
this is the first tournament we gave up tournaments many years ago. I think this is the first one we've played again since maybe 4 years, 5 years, maybe,
well, we had a
I think,
hiatus, didn't we? Because
because of
because of
COVID.
COVID really destroyed, obviously, like it did most sports. It did all sports probably. It really brought that to an end for a period of time, and
But
that
I think we stopped, yeah. But I think we stopped in after France. We played in Fayence, France, and I think that was our last competing
yeah, I think you're
tournament, if I
right.
remember rightly.
According to our DUPRA, which is the rating system that is uh, becoming very popular throughout the world, according to that, I think you're right. The French Open that was in Fayence, France. Well, actually, I was very fortunate enough to win two gold medals there. One for
Boasting,
mixed.
boasting now.
I know, and it did actually push up my DUPRA rating to just over 4.0, which is absolutely unrealistic. So I'm really a 3.5
Well, I'm
level.
glad you've said it,
Yeah,
Tony.
I really am a 3.5 level player. So I played at that level in the English Open, and I played at my age level. Well, actually, I played in the men's. I played a bit younger because I have a fantastic playing partner called Roy, who is significantly younger than me. So I had to play down to his level. But in the mixed, I played with you. I played with Christine, and talk a bit more about that in a moment. But we played in our age level, which is the 65 plus age level. So yeah, the Telford International Centre, which I don't think is actually a leisure centre. I think it's an
No,
international
no, you're
centre.
right. I
Um,
was mistaken on that.
that's all right. That's okay. You know what I love about these pickleball tournaments now, and this comes from the United States. What I love about them is that they also include professionals, professional pickleball players, which means that they get to play their own sort of tournament within a tournament, if you like. And we get to watch them on a centre court. And it was so well organized. I mean, you know, Karen and Chris Mitchell and the team at Pickleball England just have done such an amazing job in setting up that association, our Association of Pickleball Players, Pickleball England. And now this tournament, well, all the tournaments that they do are just so well organized. And this really blew my mind at just how well organized it was. It was just
And it
so
was on for a
professional.
week, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. I mean, it was
Yeah.
on a week long tournament,
I think it was nearly a
broken
week.
down
Yeah.
over the days. Yeah,
Yeah.
incredible.
Thursday to Sunday in this month of August 2024. And so we've just got back a few days ago.
Well, what
Uh,
happened to the Wednesday, the following Wednesday after we left on the Tuesday?
don't know.
I
But
thought there
anyway,
was the
that's what the
singles. There was a
program
singles match.
that's what the program says. But you may well be
Yeah,
right.
I think it was Wednesday to Wednesday, to be honest, because we had the
Okay.
singles.
So a week. Yeah. So they also had actually professional referees there that had been brought over
Yes.
from the US, which, you know, amazing. The software that powers this tournament was developed by an incredible gentleman by the name of Frank Arico, also a very passionate, like we are, pickleball player. But this is just, you know, you get your own. Well, first of all, when you register for the tournament, you just use a QR code. You hardly have to do anything. It's effortless on the part of the players, and you get your own link. You get a link to your own personal scrolling schedule of matches.
Oh, that blew me away.
How
Yeah.
amazing is that? And that's been the case since Frank developed the first one. You know, whenever it was that they Pickleball England started this. So huge kudos to him. It's just so good. So sort of moving to our own kind of story, and how it fits in with this Pickleball England. We told you that we had to give up pickleball for a while as a result of COVID. COVID also caused us to move to the beautiful area of the Cotswolds, and we moved out of central London. But when we first arrived here, which was in the year of COVID 2020, we couldn't find any pickleball, and uh, we tried our own village hall and actually met a couple of lovely people who also wanted to get into pickleball as a result of that. But that village hall in Elmley Castle, where we live, small medieval village, it just couldn't work because although they have a badminton court there isn't sufficient space around the badminton court to facilitate proper pickleball. So we thought we were stuffed, but actually we found a group of people in a lovely neighbouring village, about 20 minutes drive away in Winchcombe, who were playing pickleball, and we joined them and met some more incredible people, which you tend to do. People who play pickleball just are interesting, lovely people. And we started a little group there for players who wanted to play competitively, and that little club is called Cotswolds Picklers. And why I'm telling you all this and is simply because one of the biggest joys for me, and I'm sure Christine's going to say that she shares the joy, is that so many of the people that we introduced, some of them we introduced, some of them had already been playing, but so many of these people had never been to a tournament before. And just to see the joy on their faces of participating in this amazing event in Telford was just so nice, wasn't it?
Oh, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible, and I think they were all blown away by it. I think we took, I think we not we took, but I think we had about 14 to 16 sign ups from our club,
Yeah, which is it's just
which
so
was
great that
terrific, wasn't
they
it?
wanted to do that.
Really terrific.
So we had Pat and Stuart Wilson, who played together, husband and wife, Sue Milton and Sally McLeod, who played obviously in the women's, Mike Appleby and Lynn Benson, Pauline, whose last name I can't immediately remember because I do you know Pauline's last name? I don't know it. But Pauline also played with Lynn in the women's. Roy Chat, my playing partner, the best player in our club, and his wife, Amanda Chat, they played together in the mixed. Uh, Roy and I played together, and Steve Organ, who we introduced to the sport, also played with Leslie, whose last name I'm afraid I can't remember. Um,
Roberts, I think,
is
isn't
it
it?
okay, Leslie Roberts? And that was just it was just so great to see them all enjoying themselves so
And Lynn, we
much.
had Lynn from Birmingham who comes or drives all the way to
Yeah,
Winchcombe, and she played with.
I mentioned her. Yeah,
You mentioned her,
yeah,
sorry,
that's all right.
with Leslie. Yeah,
Yeah. So yes, now I thought they all did very well, particularly bearing in mind it was their first tournament. So,
oh, they
but
were
in
incredible, all of
particular,
them.
and I don't really like singling anyone out because other people get offended, but Sue and Sally played together and got through. They played at the 3.0 skill level, their first tournament, and they got through to the quarterfinals. I think they finished top of their group
Yeah, they
and
did,
went
which was
forward to
very
the
good.
quarterfinals. Unfortunately, didn't advance further than that. Roy and I also did the same. We won. We were top of our group at 3.5 skill level, and we advanced to the quarterfinals, but couldn't. We met a pair that were just better. Can't say more than that, really. But what was sort of really incredible about this is for me to see, and I'm sure you experienced the same, Chris, is that just the standard of play has just gone up
Rocketed, hasn't it?
so
Well,
much.
it is compared to what, that's why I think this sort of duper rating, in all honesty, is not doesn't feel right to me, because I've just signed up and it's coming at 3.9, which is almost 4.0. Well, I can't even win at 3.5. And so I think the duper rating has been based on my
It'll
wins and
yeah, but to
losses a few
be
years ago.
yeah, you're right about that, of course, and my rating is too high, but it's going to get better. because the more data that it gets in there from your tournaments and your results, the better it's going to be.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
quite
of
certain about
course.
that. And it's
Yes,
much
yes,
better
yes, I
for
think so.
us to have something in place that handles ratings rather
Well,
than
that's
nothing.
yeah, that's definitely true. But I suppose I was referring to that because of what you just said about uh, the way the advance since we started sort of 8, 9 years ago,
Hmm.
and the level, the age groups, the level that are overtaking everybody. So, I mean, they're incredible players. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, I think I saw somewhere that we have about over 30,000 participants in the UK now.
Yeah.
So it's rapidly growing. I know America's way ahead, but we're not doing too badly for um, a tiny country such as the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Um,
Quite so.
and there's big pickleball in Scotland, big pickleball in Wales, big pickleball in Ireland. So grouped together as United Kingdom and England is phenomenal. I think it's just amazing. But I just sort of feel that some of us oldies are getting a bit left
Yeah,
behind, I
well, yes,
think.
of course we are. But just moving on to the after we left, because we only played in the doubles, we had some of our people left, and they did just amazing in the singles. We didn't stay for the singles; it's way too much for us. But actually, yeah. So one person that I haven't mentioned yet, because I assume did Anne participate in the doubles? Maybe she didn't. I don't think
Yeah,
she.
she did with Cliff.
I didn't think he. I don't think he came to that.
Anne and Cliff played in the doubles. I watched them
Telford,
play
you're sure you're
in
not thinking of?
Telford.
Oh, okay.
In Telford.
Because he's not on. They're not on the list. But okay,
Well,
you may be right about
definitely
that.
100%. I saw him there, and Deborah
Okay.
came to
Oh, of
watch.
course. You're right. You're right. So I'd left him off. So apologies for that. So yes. So Cliff and Anne, who is a leader at Winchcombe Pickleball, uh, and so she played in the singles, and Roy played. My partner played in the singles. Roy got to the semi-final, which is fantastic. Considering I don't think he ever hardly ever plays singles because we don't get to play it at
Oh, he was
in
phenomenal.
Winchcombe, but he did very, very well. And also, our newest member, Alan Gardner, did the same. He got through to the semis, and then, as
Yeah, he
his
did. Yeah, and
own
that
words, he ran out of steam.
well,
Uh,
it's a lot of pickleball. I think Roy ended up and Alan the same, both playing 9 games because when you get to the semi-final, you play the best of three. They'd
hmm.
already played six to get that far. So it's
Yeah, it's a lot of
I
pickleball.
felt for them both because to play 9 games of pickleball in one day, almost consecutively, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and to not come with a medal is very sad for them. And I don't mean disappointing that they didn't, because obviously they would love to have won a paddle, but you would think with all that work involved, they should have got some sort of reward, I feel.
Yeah, but
It
you know,
was tough for them.
it was very exciting for us all, in Cotswolds Picklers to be around our computers, sort of watching what was going on. Everything was live streamed,
Yeah, it was
and we
fantastic.
had sort of we had results being fed to us by Amanda Chat, who was courtside, and what was going on. That was very, very exciting for everybody, not for just for us, but for everybody involved who could watch that going on online. But Anne took part, as I've mentioned, and Mike Appleby took part. Uh, they're in a slightly older category, but did extremely well, considering
Oh, it was very, yeah,
I
very
wouldn't
tough.
even consider playing singles because
No,
I just would be so
amazing.
concerned about being injured. But I just now want to circle back to us because you and I, were, shall we say, reluctant to partner each other in the mixed, but and we have a little bit of a funny story. Do you want to take that forward as to what happened with that?
I can't remember what the story was.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, I mean, we had let's say we had a tempestuous tennis relationship when we were when we lived seasonally in Florida, and we just didn't, we just didn't get on well on the court. I mean, we get in every other aspect of our lives, we get on very, very well together. But sport does not. We don't team up well together, particularly when it comes to the intensity of tournament
Well, it's the
play. And I think
familiarity, isn't it?
we'd
Yes.
gone to a warm-up tournament in Abingdon, and it hadn't really worked out too well. And we really, both of us, wanted to see if we could do some wife or husband swapping. And we did reunite when we got to the Telford event with a very old, dear friend of ours and a big friend to pickleball generally. More on that later. Called Lou. Everyone in pickleball, the UK, knows Lou Stevens because she's a very big personality and a lot of fun to be with and always extremely helpful. And she wanted to help us, and she was trying to sort of get another couple to
They would never play
wife,
together
yeah,
anyway.
who
So
hadn't played together, to wife or husband swap. And she, she has a heart of gold, and she was trying to help us out of our situation, and she started to make progress in brokering this partner swap, only to find that other couples were listening,
yes.
overhearing and going, "Oh, we can swap." So, this is not just a Christine and me problem. This is, I think, quite common, that it's quite difficult for couples to play together. Some can play
Well, as I said, it's
extremely
the
well together.
familiarity. Yeah. And we
Yeah.
I think we'd forgotten because we hadn't played for years, which is why
Mm.
we suddenly came to it. And then suddenly thought, what on earth are we doing? We've gone and signed up enthusiastically to this tournament with
Yeah.
forgetting the past years and what had happened. So it was a bit of a sort of, gosh, let's try and switch it round. Anyway, but I think we both decided, you particularly, that we were stuck with each other and that we would make the best of it, and you wouldn't shout at me and criticize me and nag
Uh-oh.
me to
See,
death.
already it's going in one
Well,
direction,
yeah,
isn't it?
but
So you can
you
see
are
how this
known to be the
happens.
one. Well, you are known to be the one. I'm not commenting on the court
Yeah,
because I
yeah, yeah.
don't. But
Well, I'm not
um,
commenting on your comment,
no, well, okay, well, I don't on the court. But anyway,
but let's leave it
um,
there. Let's leave it
no. So
there.
what I'm saying is, you were extremely pleasant and kind, and and in fact, you saw the results because I played, I thought, very well, although I say it myself, because you were just, it was just,
You did move up. You moved your game up to a high level at just the right time, and we did win a couple of matches, which we
yeah,
weren't
we did, and I
expecting to
think it
do.
just shows that sort of,
And
yeah.
that was amazing and nice. But I think we've both agreed that it's not a match
Well,
made
no,
in
well, we knew
heaven
it
as
was our
far as
last.
on
We
the
knew it was
pickleball
our
court.
last tournament together, so we
Yeah,
just made the best of it, and I
yeah,
think we did very well.
I do,
You
and I'm
played
very pleased.
phenomenal. You played phenomenal with Roy, and yeah, it just shows that it can be done, but not
Circling
again.
circling back to our friend Lou Stevens, I just want to make mention of the fact that I don't really know exactly what this award is all about. I have seen it done at previous international
It
tournaments, but
started with Tuomo.
it
Started
started
with
with the
Tuomo in Finland.
Yeah, Tuomo, the Finnish guy, Tuomo,
Yes.
another great personality in pickleball. It's essentially a pickleball paddle that gets passed around to people who have made a very special contribution to the sport in all kinds of ways. And at this Telford Open, this was awarded to Lou Stevens, and very, very much deserved, well deserved. And it was a complete surprise to her, and we congratulate her on that. I remember that. Give you an idea of what she's like. I can remember when we were putting on our very first pickleball demonstration, when we were trying to persuade our tennis club in the UK, Byfleet, in West Byfleet, Byfleet Tennis, Lawn Tennis Association, I think are called. and we put on a demonstration. I think we did about 6 courts for the tennis club, and she traveled a long, long way and arrived very early in the morning when I was there also to get set up, and she marked out all the courts. She took charge of it, and I don't know how we would have put on that demonstration without her. But that's the kind of person that she is, and is always trying to help other people um, to do what they want to do in terms of achievements in pickleball. And she certainly deserved this award. So well done, Lou.
Yeah, and I just want to add on that what happens is that the person never knows, but during that year, she has it for 1 year,
Yep,
and during
you're
that
right.
year, she observes and she makes the decision who she's going to pass that paddle
Oh, is
to.
that right? I didn't know that bit.
Yes,
Good. Well,
yes.
thanks
So
for.
what happens is it's it's done in recognition and observed during that time of who she thinks is the next person. And I think just mentioning another name, Elaine Shallcross was another lady who received it,
Yes, also well
and she
deserved.
actually went on to receive in the New Year's Honours list an MBE for her contribution to pickleball.
Yep.
So it's this sport that is and is 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 becoming alive. To people are now know about it. Not people are saying, "Oh, what's that game? Never heard of it." And in fact, another thing I'm just throwing in is that it's been accepted into the Invictus Games
Yes. Yeah.
in 2026, which will be held in Birmingham.
Hmm.
So that is another phenomenal achievement to the world of us pickleball people.
Yep. Exactly. Um, so uh, what was another thing that was great about this uh, tournament is that we actually had 40 Pickleball United rollout courts brought in. It is so nice. We only get to do this when we're in the USA. We try to go there once a year for about a month to play on actual dedicated pickleball courts. Here they were laid down on top of the surface in the Telford International Centre, and we actually had the proper kitchen, the non-volley zone, all pre-marked out and, without having to put tape on the floor, and that's just such a pleasure. And again, all organised by our association, Pickleball England, run by Karen Mitchell, another fantastic character in the world of pickleball. What would we do without Karen? So the thing I said I'd come back to is the Association of Pickleball Players has its Pickleball England, I'm talking about, has its byline powered by the players. And I just want to quickly, I said I'd come back to it. I want to just quickly talk about that because there is something going on, which is the talk of the town in pickleball, and that is that the Lawn Tennis Association, the LTA, have made a move, as they
Can
did
I
in.
just jump in? I think we have made we
We
have
have,
done
yes, we
about
have.
this, haven't we
We
already?
have, but I want to go a bit further than that. Yes, there is a previous episode where I have talked about this LTA business, but just a little bit more about that because I've learned a bit more about it. Um, so So they've made a bid to become the governing body recognised by Sports England for pickleball, even though they are a tennis association, and even though, as far as I can see, they have taken precious little interest and done almost nothing in the pickleball arena in the UK. But they've stepped in. I think being brutal about it, I think they smell money because it is attracting businesses, it is attracting money, and they want a bit of the action, or they want all of the action, and they have made a bid to Sports England. Of course, Pickleball England has made a bid, and others have, but. I have approached Sports England and I said to them, what is your criteria for making this decision? do you take account of the feelings of pickleball players? And they've been very responsive. I'm talking about Sports England. They've been responsive. They needed a little bit of a push to be fair, but they did come back ultimately, and essentially the answer to that is no. Their policy doesn't really involve asking the pickleball players. Well, I talked a lot to people at this event about how they felt about this, and I haven't met anyone who supports the LTA's bid to become the governing body. I think it's what Karen Mitchell and Chris Mitchell and the committee and the people behind Pickleball England have done has been incredible. And I think a testament to that is the way that how brilliant this tournament was and other things that they have organized. And I just think that that not to take account of what players think is the wrong approach, because I think players would overwhelmingly support Pickleball England's bid here. And so I do hope in my heart that Sports England do the right thing here. Okay, that's all I wanted to say on that, because I just wanted to sort of
okay, great. Yeah, good
up.
idea.
Is there anything else before I wrap this up that you'd like to add?
No, I think we've covered it all.
Great. Well, that was fun. Thank you, Christine. And thank you all, dear listeners, for listening. Do subscribe to our podcast. It's free. We cover all sorts of topics, not just pickleball, but all kinds of life refinements, as we like to call them. Check back on our previous episodes to see all the things that we talk about. We also have we have a Facebook page for the podcast, which is the same name, Refinement Not Retirement. So you can get involved there and send us messages if you'd like to do that. Also, our pickleball group, Cotswolds Picklers. If you want to ask anything at all about pickleball, learn more, and please get involved with pickleball. You must try it if you haven't tried it. It's just the most incredible fun, highly social sport. So we'll answer any questions that you may have about that on our Cotswolds Picklers page. But there's also our podcast page, Refinement Not Retirement, where you can get involved. We look forward to talking to you next time. But for now, it's goodbye from me.
And bye-bye from me. Bye, folks.
Goodbye, everybody.